A sculpture is an artwork that takes a three-dimensional form. It can be created out of a huge range of materials and using a very wide range of methods and techniques. Some of these techniques involve adding or joining different elements together in some way. Some involve manipulating or modeling the material, such as clay, to change its shape. And others entail cutting away at the material to create a new shape. This film is going to focus on carving. When we carve, we start with a block of material and cut or carve parts of it away to leave a different form behind. This is called a subtractive technique because you are removing material. What materials can we carve or cut into to remove part of? These kind of things are very familiar to all of us. But those materials are hard to work with. We will work with something easier to carve into: soap. Each learner will start with a bar of soap. Pro Wash or a similar soap bar works well. You will also need some carving tools. We can use ordinary lino cutting tools, but these might be difficult to obtain and possibly not safe for younger learners. Therefore, we can just use easily accessible materials such as paper clips. So, what will we need? Soap, a bar for each learner, paper clips, preferably of different sizes and a box for each size, and lastly, newspapers for covering your tables. To prepare, you will need to unwrap the soap and turn the bar of soap over into your hands. Imagine a form of something that is quite different from the block shape inside the soap. A head of a person, for example. An elephant, or even a figure with folded arms. Let's assume we'll be making a head today. Imagine how it will look from each angle. Front, sides, back, from above, three-quarter view this way, three-quarter view that way. Every one of those views will be quite different. Now, feel your own faces. Which parts of your faces protrude outwards? Name all those parts. The nose, chin, ears, etc. And which parts protrude more than others? Now, which parts are like indents, hollows, dips, valleys? Lightly scratch the outline of each feature of the face on the front of the block and the ears on the sides so that you have a sense of positioning. Plan the final form to be as large as possible with the block of soap. We must ensure that the bottom is flat so that eventually it can stand on its own. Then start cutting. First, we need to cut away all the soap that we clearly don't need, including the right-angled corners. Then, in order to make parts of the soap protrude forward, like your nose for instance, we have to cut away the soap on both sides and just below the nose to allow the protrusion. Then we carefully carve the nose more finely and later the eyes, chin, and so on. The ears are a bit more complex. They protrude but have hollow spaces and also deep crevices and interesting shapes within. Look carefully at your colleagues' ears to understand these forms. We also explore texture in this process. Think about the textures on your head. What is the texture and pattern of your hair or that of your colleagues? What was the criteria we discussed? For this three-dimensional sculpture, each view and each side needed to be quite different. We needed to show the protrusions, carefully observed and shaped, and the dips or valleys in the face and head. We needed to consider texture, and the head needed to stand. Light falling on the form creates light and dark areas, emphasizing that it is a three-dimensional object.